All right, this is Matt from RCHQ. We're going to do an On the Bench today with Marcus Williams from MWX Performance. You can find him at MWXperformance.com. He's got bearings, chassis, shock relocation kits, pro lubed, weighted bumpers, and more. Some of the accolades that Marcus has is he's the 2022 Pan Car National Champion. He's the 2022 F1 Champion, the Mile High F1 Champion, and many, many more. So we're going to get started today with his Pan Car first. So let's get a look at this thing, Marcus. What you got here?
This is the Pan Car.
All right. Tell us about this thing.
So this is basically a GL Racing GLR, kind of a dinosaur Mini-Z. It's been around for a long time, but the format is really good. So we've decided to make this a very, very good car. So the first thing that I did, the problem I was kind of having with the car, it just seemed like they wanted a traction roll out, which is a common problem with most Mini-Zs on high grip. So I designed a chassis that was wide. What that does, it keeps the car basically, it makes it not want a traction roll in a sense. So in modified classes, that's the way to go. You want to push the car as hard as you can. On top of that, I've moved the shock location where the stockless shock will mount way back here and up front here. What that does, it puts it at a really bad angle. So it makes the car, as the shock's compressed, it makes the car really just unsettled. So I've moved that. And with that, we also have a nice battery strap down that goes with that. Makes it easy to get your battery in and out and keeps it in a good location without having to take a long time charging these batteries.
Do you have to have your chassis to run these parts?
No. The shock relocation kit will fit any GLR chassis. Everything I make it's all compatible with any new or old stuff. That way you're not forced to buy anything you don't want. If you don't want to use a chassis, but you want to use shock relocate, that's fine. If you want to use a chassis, the shock relocate on a stock chassis, that's also fine. One of the things we actually just tested today, this weekend here, is a new weighted bumper system. My team drivers at Nationals had good results with adding weight to the bumper, but it was tape cut. You really didn't know how much it weighed. It would come off in a bad wreck. So I machined a new carbon bumper and I have brass pieces for weight. So you can go anywhere from 0.5 gram up to 3.5 grams, depending on how you stack them. We tested them today. We podiumed first, second, and third today and got the fastest times today. It makes a huge difference. I'm actually not much of a believer in it, but it made me a believer today.
So what do you think it actually does for performance?
It calms the car down. Like on this track, on this layout, there's a back section that you accelerate at an angle, and it's just tough. If your car starts flopping around, when you put the weight on there, the car goes through there way, way smoother. I actually gained about 3/10 yesterday, going from, I had the car set up with the weight, took the weight completely off the car, ran it, was like a 10.0, put the weight back on, went 9.6 like immediately. So it does make a difference. It makes the car easier to drive.
So you can get that for Pan Car and GT,
and
right?
GT, yeah. The GT looks a lot cooler. The GT, here's a GT model, and the brass weights will screw in here like that. You've got two of the rectangle pieces and you get two round pieces. These are 0.5 gram each, and they mount in the center like that. So you can kind of, I think I ended up with, on the Pan Car, I had one square and one circle. I think most of the guys on GT they were actually running all of them. They were running two rectangles and 2 rounds.
So now, would you change that depending on track? Like if you race here at RCHQ versus Colorado versus Puerto Rico?
Sure. Yeah, it's a quick change. You don't have to pull tape off and cut tape to see if that's going to be enough or not enough. You can pull one round off, it's 0.5 gram. Yeah, for sure. It seems to me the higher the grip, the more weight you kind of want to have on the car. That's what we went through today.
How long do you think it takes for you to make a change? Like if you do 10 laps and you're like, okay, let me try to put more weight.
Oh yeah, I did that many times. I would just, you see it's 1.5, go to the side of the track, pull your body off, and you just basically screw it on. You can just supply, all the screws are supplied. They screw into the carbon like so, and that's it.
Okay, so
it's done. So it's quick, super quick. You can have somebody do it for you.
So you don't have to disconnect your battery.
No, nothing.
Okay, that's pretty cool. So you can get that done trackside, get back up.
Yeah, or have your pit buddy do it for you. You can stay on the fence, have somebody.
That's even better.
That's even better, right?
Yeah, when you don't have to do your own maintenance.
No.
You can get your teammates to do it or whatever.
Okay. I guess what we can talk about a little bit is the setup with the chassis. So one of the things that and also I do offer this as a full build. Like if you want me to build a complete car turnkey, I'll build the whole thing, send it to you. All you have to do is bind your radio, calibrate the speed controller, and you hit the track running. One of the biggest advantages, and anybody here will tell you, is that you don't have to mess with this car. Like you're not have to constantly change the greases or oils. Most other cars out there right now, every other run at least you have to take the shocks apart, clean them, re-put the oil in them, which is fine if that's what you want to do. This car, no, not at all. Most of the guys will change the oil beginning of the day and not touch the car the rest of the entire race day. But the setup is a little different. Because the car is so wide, we have found that super stiff springs in the front. And what we're actually doing, we're using the Formula One side springs in the front. So those two springs actually come from the Formula One car. Just coincidence, it works. It works great. We use either the reds, the yellows, or the greens for the most part. And it stays pretty consistent. As far as the rear, we're using blues or purple GLR springs in the rear, normal ones. And then I'm using a reflex black, but the GL red or green for the center spring works very, very well. Other than that, it's pretty simple. All of my team guys, we can all drive each other's car for the most part. They're just there's all the same. There's nothing tricked. All of the cars I think drag brakes, the only thing we usually change is drag brake. We may make a front spring change between Pan Car and GT and or the grip levels. But usually that's not during the day. Usually what you set, you just go. Keep on top of your tires and keep on rolling.
You told me something interesting the other day. You said that you've had this same car for 2 years. Is that true?
Yes, that's this car actually. This is the original car. It's even blue. I haven't even I de-anodized the team cars, or the cars that I build. This is literally 2 years old. I haven't changed anything, the same stuff. Oh, on that same subject, we use the stock plastic front end for 2 reasons. One, typically you don't want to have a bunch of weight over the front of the axle. You want to have it behind it or in front of it. So I don't want the extra weight from the all aluminum. Also, the more flex you have, the more grip you have. So the plastic stuff flexes more than the aluminum. It just runs better with the stock front end. Plus, it's cheaper, and most people don't have to buy anything.
What is a wear part? Like, what do you find yourself? What's your bag full of part wise that you go through?
Really, I'll be honest with you, nothing. I don't really. I don't go through anything. Tires, a lot of tires. That's really about it. I've broken a few of these side links here and there. Honestly, really nothing.
I was with Marcus in Colorado, and this guy went through more tires than I think the whole track combined, just testing on which tires was going to be the best setup. Him and his whole team. Well, that's a pretty cool car. What about the F1? I know that you're really successful with that car.
Yeah, this is actually my best driving car. I wish all my cars drove like this thing.
Is it still your favorite?
It's still my favorite. It still is. This car is just awesome. I've been running F1. This car is also about 2 years old. This one, I started getting heavy into F1 as it got more popular. And one of the things that we discovered is that the brass chassis, although it feels really great on the track, it's slow. It's just too heavy. The carbon chassis is great. The car accelerates a lot better, but it wants a traction roll. So what I did, I came up with a chassis that's in between the weight of the brass and the carbon fiber, and also it's wide. I'm having great success with the wide cars. It works on this car too. Makes it super, super stable. I think everyone here runs the same chassis, if I'm not mistaken. It's great. I don't make a lot of F1 parts. I think that I make the chassis, and I make this pivot brace to keep the front arms from flexing. That's a little piece right there. I pretty much run the same setup everywhere. Nothing trick on this car. We're running Anima. We're spec here now, so Anima with a 12 tooth. I typically will run a gear diff, depending on the track layout. At Nationals, I ran a ball diff. It's just the way the track was. I prefer a gear diff, but like I said, if I got to run a ball diff to make it fast, I'll just run a ball diff.
Speaking of diffs, what are you running in your Pan car and your?
I use a PN gear diffs almost exclusively. I like the GL diff too. it doesn't. It's not quite as durable as the PN, so I tend to stick with the PN. On F1, I'll probably run a GL gear diff, just because it's a little lighter than the PN.
Okay. Well, that's pretty cool. We appreciate you coming. And if you had any advice for novice drivers, whether they're going to drive open cars, F1s, regardless, what would be one thing that you would tell somebody brand new getting into this, especially with all the accolades that you have?
I think practice. You know, the more wheel time you get, it's going to be the better. Don't be afraid to talk to the guys. Usually, I know the guys on my team, we make it a point to talk to everybody. We're not going to turn the shoulder on you. We will tell you everything. I tell my team drivers everything I know, which is probably bad for me, but I do. And now I'm getting beat by them sometimes, but it's okay. You ask questions, drive a lot, learn to have good attention to detail, because it makes a difference. People who get into this, I think they have a toy mentality for a second, but then once they realize that a simple thing like taping your tires will make you half a second faster and a lot more durable. No one really thinks that until they get into it. So tag along with somebody, find somebody at your local club, and just, talk to them, ask questions. They're not gonna, don't be afraid. Most of the guys, very few people in this industry, Mini-Z industry, are just mean. They're all pretty up, down to earth guys, and I'll help you with anything you need. I mean, I've given motors away, tires, whatever it takes to make you. I think my thing is, like, if you see somebody new who's frustrated, they're gonna quit. They're gonna go find something else to do. So they're here, help them out, make it easy for them, and then they'll stick around. You'll have a competitor in a couple of years.
I always like to say that slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Would you agree with that?
Oh, for sure. If you see my cars, are not usually the fastest, but I'm usually pretty smooth, so it works. So I don't chase fast laps.
Consistency is the key.
It's 100% consistency is the key. At our level, if you're not running 97, 98%, you're not going to win.
Lastly, what kind of sponsors do you got? Who's out there supporting?
Yeah, I'm sponsored by right now Micro RC Syndicate and MWX. That's it. Okay. So that's that. They're helping me out. They're taking care of me. I'm going to Puerto Rico in a couple of weeks. I'm getting some assistance from those guys. So I'm here. I'm going to try to run with this as long as I can. I'm getting kind of old, so I'm going to hang in there as long as I can.
All right, Marcus. So let me ask you, when did you get started in RC?
About 15 years ago, roughly. I started off in Mini-Z, as a matter of fact, at a place called M&M Hobbies, Jimmy Rock in Houston. We did that for a few years. I wasn't very good at that time, but it was just like RC racing. So after that, I got into off-road heavily for years. 10 scale off-road, 8 scale, nitro, all of it. And then the past 3 years, I've been heavy in the Mini-Z.
Very cool. All right, lastly, where's your favorite place to race?
RCHQ, of course.
RCHQ.
I'm here. I've got 6 hours of road time this weekend just to come play with these guys. That's great experience, great atmosphere. These people are awesome. It's cold though.
Yeah, it's cool. Well, not today.
Not today. Yeah, it's gonna warm today,
nice.
but yeah.
All right. Well, we appreciate everything that you do for us and supporting our program, and we love you here.
All right.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.